No, I love me some Diet Coke, man. That's my thing. I love Diet Coke. What are you capable of, right? I mean, do you want to do some large commercial contracts? Do you really want to do some large commercial contracts, or do you not? Okay, I think right now in your business, in your life, you're making just enough money. You're just getting by. You know, you're maybe doing $50,000 a year. Maybe you're doing $100,000 a year. I don't know, man. But if I was you, I would want to do a $200,000 contract. I'm not here to sell you just the dream, right? I want to sell you the dream, as a matter of fact, because if there was somebody there trying to sell me the dream that this is possible, I would have listened. I would have listened, man, because I remember what it was like doing $75 Starbuckses or doing $100 houses or $200 houses. Like, it wasn't working, man. My first year in this business, which was October of 2016, from October 2016 to October 2017, I only did about $30,000, $40,000 in revenue. I mean, as you can see, the contract size of that was $230,000. And here's the funny part. That contract that you just saw me break down, the $230,000, it all started with a cold prospect, guys. That relationship started with a cold prospect. It was the one I showed you before that, the $130,000 that's actually been awarded to me, because obviously the $230,000 one is in the process of bidding, but we have such a good relationship with them. I mean, I really don't see that thing not going through. But I showed you the other one for the $135,000 award. I didn't know them either. I had no clue who that company was, who the developer was, who the project managers were. I didn't have an uncle that worked for the company or a friend that worked for the company. It was all through a process. It was through due diligence. It was through showing up, right? My first office space was actually a quarter of the size of this front room here in our new office here. And we're actually getting ready to expand probably into a new office later this year. But I remember being in that office just trying to it was 200 square feet, just trying to figure out, you know, how was I going to make it work? Because I finally got a large commercial contract, and it kind of changed my life a little bit. It was a $140,000 contract. I did it for 4 months, got paid out on it, and I had to figure out, how am I supposed to get to the next level? Like, how am I supposed to keep this going? Like, in a way, I almost felt like an imposter, because I got a $140,000 deal, but I didn't know how to replicate the process. Like, I didn't know how to just go out in the marketplace and potentially do that again, okay? If you've ever been in that situation, then you know what I'm talking about. Like, maybe you did something good one time, you got a $1,000 job at a house or a $2,000 job at a house, and you're not really sure, like, how do you replicate that? Like, how do you do that over and over and over, so your business, your life, your family, everybody can prosper, right? And so I find myself in this office, 200 square feet, desk to desk. We had 3 people in there, all desk to desk, just trying to figure out creative ways on how we can do business with people. And again, at this point, I had only done $30,000 in revenue in 2016, and I happened to get a $140,000 contract that was for 4 months worth of work. And I got some money from it. And I was like, you know what? I want to figure out how I can duplicate that process. At that time, just chill right here for a second. You know, why don't you come in here real quick? We're actually turning this room into a studio. So if it's empty right now, it's because it used to be my office, and I'm like, screw it, man. Let's just create a studio. We're gonna hook up the walls. We're gonna paint everything white. We're gonna put a dope TV in here. We're gonna have an anchor cast, and this is actually the first episode of trainings on Overcomer, and we're gonna teach you how to get into large commercial contracts, just like this video. But if you see here, this is actually my contractor's license from the State Board of California. I'm a fully licensed contractor. Most people in the window cleaning or pressure washing industry and stuff, They don't really have that stuff. I'm actually not a big certificate guy or school guy. As a matter of fact, I'm actually a high school dropout, believe it or not. I dropped out in the 10th grade. I didn't go to college. I barely even have a GED. So I'm not really like the biggest school guy in the world, but I support it. You know, like if my girl, she's going to school right now, I support it. Ian, the camera guy, he went to school. He's got his college degree. It's all in videography, and I support him, right? But for me, it didn't turn out that way. So this piece of paper, as much as it means something to me, it only means something to me because it's what allowed me to take my life to the next level on some of the contracts that I work with. Now, you don't have to have a piece of paper like that to do large commercial contracts, but it definitely can help. And what I want to tell you is if you come back this way, before I had that piece of paper, I was going after large commercial contracts well before I had that. And I had no idea like what was involved to get the large commercial contracts, like what I needed and what piece of paper did I need? What type of insurance did I need? I mean, all that stuff's kind of annoying and frustrating, right? What we tell ourselves is we can't do these projects because we don't have that piece of paper, or because we don't have the right insurances, or because we don't have the right employees or the right relationships, or whatever you're telling yourself. What is that excuse that you're telling yourself? Is it that you don't have the right piece of equipment? Let me show you guys something. Again, come with me, Ian. So check this out. See this room back here? This is actually our equipment room. So we got a lot of stuff back here, man. I mean, it wasn't always this way. I mean, I got $7,000 water-fed poles. You probably don't believe that because you've never seen one. But this one right here is actually a $5,000 N-Light high module Unger pole. If you know anything about the window cleaning industry, then you know that this is the Ferrari of Unger poles. You can see N-Connect, high modulus carbon fiber extension pole. This goes up to 90 feet, okay? We have extensions that literally take it up to 9 stories, probably one of the biggest in the world. I got more right here. We got tons more right here. We got more right here. I mean, dude, at one point, I mean, you see all these brush heads. Here it is right here. I saved this for good measure. I saved this to remind myself where I've been and what I've been doing in this business. And this pole right here, this is it, man. I mean, you see the duct tape on the top, and you see it's all bent and everything. It's bent because the top kind of comes off and the clamp is done. But this is what I used to clean solar panels with, okay? I used to use this, and I used a little blue brush. I think it's around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. This thing is really dirty, but this is what I used to use right here. I don't even want to pull it out. It's all dusty. You see that? That's the first brush I ever used. This little Unger blue brush. Anyways, I used that with this pole, okay? We didn't have any of this stuff. I mean, you see all these big ass 40 DI tanks. I got 2 right here. We got another 2 right here. Okay, these things will purify water all day, 0 parts per million all day long. We didn't have any of this stuff, man. We had this. I had this. Not even a we. There was no we. Okay, it was just me. Okay, had no money. Had really nothing going on, man. I mean, this is what I had right here. I had this. I had this, and I had this. I had a squeegee. Not even this nice of a squeegee. This is actually a dope squeegee. This is an Notori all brass. But I had this, man. This is what I had. And, you know, there's actually a pressure washer in that other room, which we could take a look. But you see here, we have these pressure washers here. These are 4,000 PSI pressure washers. They put out a ton of water. They get shit done. We got the ladders, man. I mean, I remember when I had, this was actually my first ladder right here. This one right here. You see back here? I bought that for $100. It's this one right here. I still have it today. But that was all I had, actually. I had this ladder, I had this pole, and I had this T-bars and squeegees right here. And I had a bucket. Oh, and I had a little husky bag. Not one of these nice husky bags, you know, or one of these big husky boxes that we can take out on the job sites. But I had a little husky bag. And the only other thing I had, which I'll show you right now, show you one more time. Like I said, we didn't have all this equipment at one time. Matter of fact, you don't even need all that shit. You can get started tomorrow without having any of that stuff, as a matter of fact. But this pressure washer right here was the one I had. It's actually the same exact one. It's a Ryobi $100 premium Home Depot pressure washer, okay? And it's electric, okay? So trust me when I say I know what you're talking about when you say, I don't think I have enough money. I don't think I have the resources. I don't think I could do this. When I did my first large commercial contract, the $140,000 deal, that's what I had. I had that silver pole. I had a blue brush head. I had that $100 Ryobi pressure washer, and I had a T-bar and squeegee. That was all I had, guys. I didn't have anything else, okay? And I didn't have employees. I mean, I didn't have anything. I mean, we got Andrew right here all day long. We got Ian behind the camera. We got guys out in the field running things, doing the foreman positions. I mean, dude, I never would have thought any of this was possible prior to any of this, really. And so what I want you to know is that if you keep showing up and you keep pushing play, especially when you don't want to, especially when you don't want to show up, and you just keep showing up, it's going to take you to the next level. It's going to get you there, because I know you've heard it before that all the gurus or people out there that are trying to help you say work hard and don't give up, okay? I know they all say that. But I watched a video the other day, and I think it was Andy Frisella, or it was something like that. And he was saying the reason why people keep saying that is because it's the truth. And a lot of those guys that are wealthy, that are winning, that you see in the limelight, and you're like, oh man, these guys are killing it. These guys are awesome. The Grant Cardones of the world, right? I might have him playing right now. But the reason why they're in that position is because they did not give up. They didn't give up, and they didn't run into walls. They didn't make excuses, right? They didn't make excuses when a wall came down in front of them and just sat in front of them and said, you cannot pass go or collect $200. They broke the wall down. They said, no, it's cool, man. I'll just keep going anyway, right? They didn't allow the first sign of defeat to make them say, oh, I quit, right? They didn't say when they needed a large commercial contract, oh, well, I don't have the equipment that I need, or the water fed pole that I need, or this, that, and the third. Honestly, guys, I know people in our industry right now, in the service industry, that are buying tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment or signing up with franchises that are taking all of their money before they even have customers, before they've even decided to try to even see if the marketplace would reward them with business. So if you think about it like this, like if I were to say, you know what, I want to go get some large commercial contracts, right? It's why I wrote this book right here, Overcome Large Commercial Contracts. If I wrote this book and I said to you like, hey, you know what, I want to overcome large commercial contracts, but I just don't know how, what would you do? And I want you to understand that when you go to get into large commercial contracts, the first thing you are going to think when you look at that building and it's 7 stories, and whether you're a painter, you're a landscaper, you're a pressure washer, it's got a huge freaking piece of land around it and there's a lot going on, you're going to think to yourself, I can't do this. You're going to think to yourself, I don't have the equipment. I don't have the people. I don't have the resources. But like Andy Frisella and Grant Cardone, but like those people of the world, Ed Milet's, okay, we need to understand that they kept going. They kept showing up. They did not give up. They were relentless on their pursuit. If they saw a big, large commercial contract, they didn't look at it and say, oh, that's too big. I'm not going to be able to do it. Okay? That's first and foremost, right? First and foremost. And I know you hear it all the time, but I'm telling you like it is, man. I'm telling you like it is. If I stopped when the first wall dropped in front of me and it said, John, you could try to do this project, but you don't know how to price it. You don't have the right pressure washer. You don't have the right equipment. You don't have the right look. You don't have a logo. You don't have business cards. I mean, what? I would never even be sitting here today. So how could I agree with anybody that thinks this way? And why wouldn't I preach this? It's from my own experience, guys. It's literally from my own life. It's what happened to me, okay? Because I kept showing up, because I kept pushing play, because I kept making phone calls, because I kept introducing myself, I kept shaking hands, I kept building relationships, I got rewarded. The universe said, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to reward this guy. I like him, and I think we're going to give him some large commercial contracts.